That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Jason David Frank.
Boom shakalaka.
Please do not change channel.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. That way you can keep coming back over and over to hang with us and our wonderfully talented and creative guests in the arts and entertainment world. I'm Allyson Murray, and right now we are at the Coonrod Tavern in Pratt's Hollow, New York for an author meet and greet hosted by Dave Dow of this gorgeous 200-year-old tavern. And we're hanging with author Christina Kelley. Thank you so much, Christina, for hanging with us.
Thank you, Allyson.
So tell us about this very scary Pratt's Hollow.
Well,
Give us a book blurb on it.
I actually was living in the town of Madison and decided that I wanted to write a horror novel. I've always wanted to be a writer since I was young. And the perfect name for a horror novel is Pratt's Hollow. I used to drive by here every day. So I decided what would happen if I took a supernatural cult leader who migrated from Canada into the town of Pratt's Hollow. What would the residents do? And so my characters are actually real people, farmers, residents, and they can take care of business when it comes to, when it comes to having some evil presence in town. Yeah, Pratt's Hollow knows what to do.
Wow.
And so the Coonrod is actually in this novel, as well as some other areas, Hotel Salzville and such. And I wrote the novel for readers, for people to enjoy.
Wow. And so, you said that you've always wanted to be a writer since you were little.
Yep.
So who are some of your favorite authors?
I want to say that I really got into the horror genre in high school, and my English teacher, Mr. Clark, was big into Stephen King, and I read a lot of Edgar Allen Poe, and I love to watch Hitchcock, and that's why I cite them in my novel. They're actually my novel's dedicated to those three, masters of horror. And that's where I got a lot of my writing style.
Oh, that's so cool. I love Stephen King too, and Hitchcock. I remember watching him growing up.
The Birds is one of the scariest movies out there.
Oh my God! To this day.
I was going to try to write Birds again, and I'm like,
no, that's
so scary.
Yes. Is there anything challenging that you find about writing this particular genre?
It actually comes pretty natural, which is probably pretty scary. I've had a few readers, they look at me, especially if they've kind of known me over the years, and they don't know how to quite figure me out, because they're like, you have a twisted imagination. So, I like it.
Going on over here.
Well, it's fun.
Yes.
It is. I like to be scared. I watch a lot of horror. This isn't gory. Yes, this isn't gory horror. It's more a little creepy, thriller kind of thing.
Yeah.
A little fun. It's whatever.
Would you ever like to see it turn into like a film?
Oh, I would love that.
Fun?
I would love it to go national. Really.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm working on it. I just launched it on June 1st. I did my first, I did like a trial run, a short run of books to see if anyone liked it. And it gave me the confidence to move forward. People loved it. And it would be great. Maybe it'll be on Netflix. I know there's one reader was like, it should be a Lifetime movie. If we go to Hollywood, I'm taking her with me.
There you go. Absolutely. Do you have to do a lot of research for this kind of?
I do, especially when it takes place in a real location.
Yes.
You can like in my novel, you have some, license to have fun with it and make it fiction. My students in Pratt's Hollow go to Madison Central School, which is not correct, in real life. But I try to keep everything else true to, the roads and descriptions of buildings like the Utica train station and that kind of thing. And in my next novel, I do a lot of research and I watch a lot of different horror. I read a lot of different horror books. My next one coming out, I'm reading a book right now that's When Man Becomes Prey. Oh. Gives me some ideas, true stories about where wild animals attack people.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. Oh
God, help me.
Would you consider yourself a plotter or a pantser?
I'm a plotter. I am old school writer. I have a journal and I start writing notes and I write notes before I go to bed. I'm thinking on the way out here, I did wait for a traffic light, so I wasn't like texting, but instead of texting, I'm writing down in a novel or in a little journal, for notes, because otherwise I'll forget.
As it comes to you.
Right, and then I go through my notes and I write an outline, just like we learned in high school, I do kind of an outline of what my chapters are going to be and take it from there.
Do you find do they twist, and like a lot of authors say, I wanted to go in this direction, but then the characters start talking to me, so we go in a totally different
Absolutely. I did that with this novel. I had a rough draft that I kind of varied from with the ending and different things. Yeah, sure. You just kind of go with it when you really get in the mode,
Do you have a favorite place that you like to go to do your writing or kind of recharge?
Where I grew up in Stony Creek, New York, which is out by Lake George.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the Wilcox Lake Wild Forest Preserve, so I grew up on 150 acres in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just, I have a camp up there now, it's like 10 acres, so I got the idea for my next novel, horror novel, from just staying up there for a couple days and just, doing things around camp and thinking, and so it's very inspiring because you don't really, there's no cell phone service, you're out in the middle of nowhere, so with the animal thing it might be a little creepy when I go stay, but
you'll be like looking, turning on the lights and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you have a full-time job?
I don't anymore. I did up until the middle of June.
Right.
Yes.
Why did you want to become an author?
I can't remember when I haven't wanted to be, but financially we have to work a regular job, and I waited until my daughter graduated from high school, and I said, well, I'm going to try this and see what happens, and so far I'm holding my own.
That's good, because you're
and it's
self-published.
a lot of work. Yes, indie. Yeah, they call it indie publisher.
Indie publishing, and we love our indie publishers.
And I started my business back in 2006, so I've been researching on how to go out and do this full time for a long time. So we will see.
Yes. What do you find is most challenging about? Do you find marketing?
Yes, you have to have a good product, but you have to advertise and market if you're going to be an indie publisher. You have to do marketing. The hardest part is actually the ebooks. I'm doing very well in paperback, and I'm on all kinds of, I'm on Kobo, Google. Google Play just picked me up, which you have to actually ask them, and they weren't taking any new authors, and they actually accepted it and invited me, so it was kind of fun.
My goodness,
But there's so much competition, and they don't really have a standard. Ebooks don't have a standard. A lot of them, as long as you're not in contractual violation, they'll publish you. So it doesn't have to have any real quality to it. So people are sketchy on whether they're going to buy an ebook unless you're somebody that's an already known author or you spend a lot of money in advertising with them.
Right.
So that would be my hardest challenge. But it's getting there. I've been selling them. So
that's great.
I don't know.
So what is coming up for you? You have two books that you're working on Wild Things and the Adirondack Love Story. So tell us a little bit about those.
Well, Adirondack Love Story is going. I wanted to see if I could write romance, and nothing, not something so dark. So I wrote a novella called For Lily's Pleasure, and a few people read it and they really liked it and they wanted to know more about the characters. So what I decided to do in Adirondack Love Story is it's going to be like a mini series within a novel. So there'll be like, say, 4 or 5 sections of it, so where they meet and then perhaps where they get married, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So you can, especially if you're a busy reader, you can read one section almost like you're watching a series on TV, and then you could go back and say, okay, I'm going to finish this next story.
Okay.
And so it'll be like 4 or 5 stories into one of these 2 characters, and that'll be my full-length novel. And that takes place, the female in it is from Syracuse, and the male is he's a bush pilot up in the Adirondacks in a large game vet, and he's very handsome. So,
All right.
You can't go wrong with him.
No.
Yeah, David Buchanan. So David is actually going to help out in Wild Things, because I don't want to get too much into Wild Things because it's a little out there, but and it's a kind of a unique topic that I'm doing. So,
okay.
But he will also be a key player in Wild Things as a bush pilot,
Okay.
and he'll help out in the Adirondacks, and it's going to be Lake George, this area, Mohawk Valley.
Okay.
They're all stretch in
Awesome.
these areas, and I try to keep all local printers and local design artists,
That's fantastic.
graphic artists.
Yes,
you know.
yes. Shop
So-
local, people.
Shop local.
That's right. How long did it take you to write Pratt's Hollow?
Pratt's Hollow, the first draft of it was written back in about 06, 07. And then I had a very challenging full-time job, put it down, raising a daughter, and I resurrected it again around November of last year. And
Quite a while.
completed it while I was working full-time. And so now I find that just trying to dedicate myself just to the writing, I'm able to put a lot more into it, and it'll be a lot quicker for my next 2 novels, hopefully
Yes.
by the end of this year.
Yes, let us know.
I'd
when
like
you
to have
release
the
dates.
one hard done by October, but I might be pushing it. Halloween.
Yes, that would be fun.
So,
So where can people find you and your books?
right,
Again.
well, I have this. Actually, I have ebooks. I'm on Amazon, Google Play, Google, Kobo, Barnes & Noble Nook. On my website, you can actually buy an ebook and download it. I'm at the Colgate Bookstore. I'm at Berry Hill Bookshop. I'm working on more national booksellers like Barnes & Noble. That's going to take a process. It'll take a little time. And I'm in the library, so I'm in the Southern Adirondack Library System, which is up by Lake George, and I'm in the Mid-York Library System here. So I want to branch out to Syracuse and, all that.
Wow,
But I know
that's
my
great.
book is actually the paperback has been to Alaska, which is cool because that's my bucket list state that I always want to go to. So Alaska, and it's been to the Caribbean, it's been to California, it's been to Florida. So I'm getting there.
Goodness, yay.
Like little by little. So
Well, now we've learned all about Christine. Do we have time for a game? We have time for a game.
Oh.
We like to play games on this show.
Oh, okay.
I'm the
Can
game
they
girl.
like
Yeah, we're gonna play Go Bleep Yourself.
go bleep myself? Can we have other people come in
Have you
or?
ever played Go Bleep Yourself before? I'm gonna play with you. We're just gonna pick a card
Okay.
and we read the question and then we fill in the bleep with whatever we feel it is.
Oh.
It's really fun. Pick your card.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pick mine.
Dave, you want to do it? We got to get Dave Dow out here because
Okay.
he's now the new. Come on, Dave. You're
Come
now
on,
the
Dave,
new.
come play Go Bleep Yourself.
Yes. Would be my proxy.
Come on, Dave.
I'm terrified to be in video.
You're doing fantastic, Christina. We're going to play a game. Want me to
All
go
right, this
first?
is Dave Dow. I don't know if you can
Hello,
see him.
Dave.
Can you hear him?
Say hello, Dave.
Or to-
You want me to go first to break the ice?
Oh, come on over. You're going to be
over.
a sandwich, apparently.
You're going to be the rose
This is
between
the
two
new
thorns.
owner of the Coonrod.
Mr. Dave Dow, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to go first to break the
Yay.
ice.
Ladies, everybody can get into it a little bit. All right.
Okay, I had to ask the doctor to look at my bleep.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You got any suggestions?
I'm not
Dave?
going to be dirty.
I do, but I'm pretty sure they don't want to hear about it. It's a cool
I
answer.
had to ask the doctor to look at my throat.
Oh. Is that what you're going to
I
say?
wasn't going to say that, but
That's what it says?
no, that's what I'm going to not say.
Oh, you can
something
say
dirty.
throat, but why?
Yeah.
Do you have to ask the doctor? I don't know. That's
dirty.
awful. We are at the Coonrod
What would you
Tavern
say?
here in Pratts, New York, and it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
So, I like my men / women like I like my coffee, rich and bleep.
Remember,
I want your
We're in Pratts Hollow.
well endowed.
I like my men. I like my coffee. Rich and
Now, come on, Christy.
I know it. You know it.
You know it's what I said.
I know what you're thinking.
And in another state.
Good answer.
I don't know. Came
Okay.
up with something bizarre.
Dave's turn.
The TSA found bleep. I have no idea what
Oh,
the
on you? Oh, that's the airports. That's when you get like.
Oh, you can
Uh-oh.
make it through
That's
security.
national security. They do have national
they find
security
on
out
you,
here in
Dave?
Pratts Hollow, don't they?
Probably drugs.
Oh, there you go. Moonshine, probably.
Well, guys, it's been so much fun hanging with Christina today. I am Allyson Murray, but before we go, we'd like to give a very special thank you to our wonderfully beautiful partners at Krypton Radio out of LA, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, Asylum Convention Entertainment Services with Heather Reed, Embellish FX out of Orlando, Florida. These are the folks that share our videos all over the World Wide Web, and we hope you will too. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think of today's show and our guests. You can also check our guest links below. Remember to subscribe, log on, and stay tuned to see who we're hanging with next.
And Allyson is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.